All right, Herc. So it sounds like neither of us were particularly convinced with the performance that we got out of the U.S. against Uzbekistan. Let's think ahead to the game against Oman Tuesday in Minnesota. What changes would you want to see Greg Berhalter make for that game?
All right. Against the 74th ranked team in the world, we already saw what they did. They're moving up a level. The 73rd ranked team in the world, Oman, and what I'm going to see, well, listen, Horvat was already announced by Greg Berhalter as a starter,
yes.
So we won't move him there. But I want to see Lund on the left-hand side. Obviously, we've not seen the heir apparent or anybody who's going to be the insurance policy for Anthony Robinson. I want to see what this kid can do. And Chris Richards and Miles Robinson at one point last cycle were labeled the center back duo of the future. Miles Robinson's 26 years old. It's make or break for him, not only with the national team, but maybe for his chance in Europe if he makes that step from Major League Soccer to Europe. So I want to see this right here. It's a good combination of skill, athleticism for Greg Berhalter. I'm very curious at how this will go. And then when we get it, well, it's Malik Tillman. I already mentioned Ricardo Pepi, so I'm going to go with Malik Tillman.
You got Tillman at the 10, huh?
I got Tillman at the 10, and there's a reason for that, okay? Yunus Musa, Weston McKennie, we saw what they could do together against Mexico and Canada. They're two very good players that could do the job that Tyler Adams was doing, but also incorporate themselves going forward and be that outlet. What I did enjoy of a 10 under BJ Callahan, it was Gio Reyna, who's got a massive ceiling, was how good the team looked in the final third. This team gets predictable, and they don't have creativity in the final third. And I think that frustrates players like Christian Pulisic. You put a Malik Tillman there, for my money, who's an elite second attacker, a second nine, if you will, joining in the box, arriving late. He's proven it at Rangers. And in the brief time here at PSV that we've seen from him, he's a guy that incorporates himself with creativity into that final third and can produce assists and goals. I like this. I think you need that type of player there. So I think it'll be a benefit to Christian Pulisic and those around him.
I see this, Herc, and I see the familiar 4-3-3 under Greg Berhalter. I guess it could also be broken down into a 4-2-3-1, depending on how everybody lines up there between Pulisic, Tillman, and Weah. But I do think the 4-2-3-1 is kind of what fans loved from the BJ Callahan era, and specifically the CONCACAF Nations League. Obviously, you don't have Gio Reyna. So what is this? Is this the 4-3-3 like we used to see under Berhalter, or is this going to play out like the 4-2-3-1, which is what worked this summer against first Mexico and then Canada?
Yeah, this is going to be more like BJ Callahan had them. Obviously, there's a big difference between Gio Reyna and a Malik Tillman, but I think Malik Tillman can offer you that creativity in between the lines with the ability to arrive late and support players like Timothy Weah and Christian Pulisic, who I think was sorely lacking that creative duo in this game versus Uzbekistan. You could see the frustration on the young Americans. So this will be a little more creativity because with Oman, you're probably going to deal with similar settings like Uzbekistan, and teams that will drop and try to make it difficult for you. So you're going to need a much more creative bunch in the final third.
Who's taking set pieces here if it's not Pulisic?
I would have Serginho Dest take set pieces. I mean, it's not going to be Weston McKennie because he's a target. It's not going to be Timothy Weah.
That's what I'm saying. There's not an easy option on this 11 that you've put out there. So I wonder if it might be Pulisic again, just looking at this list. If it is this 11.
And it's funny because that's probably one thing that set a player like Kellen Acosta apart last cycle was his ability to take set pieces when he was on the field.
All right, so there it is. U.S. 11, or Herc's hopeful U.S. 11 for the game on Tuesday against Oman. Let's hope that our good friend Greg Berhalter is listening.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.